Hey friends, this is Ian Khan at the Milken Global Conference 2025 with Diane Ty from the Milken Institute to talk about the future of aging, this entire era of where aging, it's going to change how we age. Diane, share with us what is happening with aging.
Sure. So I lead our Future of Aging work at the Milken Institute. I'm seeing such a sea change, even in the 2 years that I've been part of the leadership here. I was just talking to Eric Verdin, who was on a panel this morning for Roadmap to Longevity. The room was packed. 2 years ago, I had him here. We were in a small room. He said, I was really disappointed. So you're seeing just an incredible amount of activity because we have population aging, right up there is a global mega trend, up there with AI and climate change, changing every facet and sector of society.
Yeah.
So as we're seeing population aging, we've had, in the last 150 years, 2.5 years of added longevity every decade.
Mm.
So we think about that. Unfortunately, though, we're seeing a gap between lifespan and health span, the number of years of living in good health. So you're seeing a lot of activity underway with geroscience, really trying to look at what are those underlying common hallmarks of aging, the biological changes that are happening. And if we can start to address those, can we delay some of the chronic diseases that are, aging being the predominant risk factor for chronic disease? Can we delay that? Can we prevent disease altogether? That's massive implication. Now we have a health system, as you know, that's really focused on sick care versus wellness. So we're hearing just about at every conference I'm at, even here, this focus and need to shift to prevention. How do we look at our food systems? How do we get people to exercise more? How do we look at sleep as an important factor? So that's another piece. Brain health is huge. We have an alliance to improve dementia care, started almost 5 years ago. There was so much going on into the cure for Alzheimer's disease and related disorders. Not enough on the care side. So with over 7 million people living with dementia, really trying to navigate this fragmented, costly journey. And here we are, fast forward, over 130 members from every sector represented. We meet monthly. And we're so focused on prevention. And we had a gentleman on our panel today, Dr. Richard Isaacson, really one of the leaders in prevention. He said, as recent as maybe 2018, Alzheimer's and prevention could never be used in the same sentence. That's a huge focus now.
Yeah.
We know that changes to our brain are happening up to 20 years before symptoms change. So think about all the things we need to be doing in midlife, in young adulthood, to create all the behavioral changes, the good habits, the sleep, the physical exercise, the socialization, the good nutrition, so that as we age, we're condensing that marginal decade, which is now a poor health, that gap between lifespan and health span.
Where is funding today for the aging kind of domain? And I'm sure, first of all, let's assume everybody wants to live a long and healthy life. Right? Long and healthy life.
Yes.
Nobody wants to live long and not unhealthy.
Right.
So long and healthy life. Great, we got that. Check mark. Number two, lots of prevention, lots of lifestyle management, and then augmented with other things that can be part of that. I think that could work. So it could be a great domain to build for companies and people who want to have products and solutions and technologies that help us do that.
Right.
What is the appetite for incumbents and stakeholders to come together?
It's coming. We're seeing a surge in longevity investments. So you mentioned the age tech side, caregiving technology, digital health. Healthcare is moving into the home. Older adults want to age in place, and because of the shortage of care workers all up and down every part of the healthcare ecosystem, more care is being driven to the home. So with that, you're seeing a lot of investment into that. And then, of course, on the biological side, the research and development going into drug development so that we can attack what I talked about earlier, these kind of underlying hallmarks, the
Yep.
biological factors of aging. Huge investment going into that space. Wearables, devices. It's an incredible inflection point that we're
Yeah,
at.
yeah. What do you anticipate to happen over the next 5, 10, or 20 years? What's the timeline that you want to talk about?
Yeah, so I'd say the next 5 years or so, I do believe we are going to see some disease-modifying therapy that is attacking those hallmarks of aging. Right now, we have some drugs, metformin, rapamycin, that are actually used for organ transplant. The GLP-1 agnostics are also being looked at. Hey, it's more for diabetes or weight loss. Could be for attacking inflammation and as an Alzheimer's drug. So something's going to happen in that space. We have a number of drugs in the phase 3 clinical trials. That's within 5 years. Within 10 years, we're going to see, I think, the precision medicine, knowing, you are a male, you have these genetic risks, you grew up in XYZ zip code, this environment. We're going to be able to tailor a health plan for you, what you need to do to increase your health span.
Yeah.
So I think that's exciting.
I'd love to get your thoughts on access to this technology,
Yes.
this entire amazing, beautiful longevity-based, life.
That is a challenge right now. You may have heard of an organization called the Evolution Foundation, based in Riyadh. What I love about what they're doing, they're giving $1 billion away, but right on the front of their website, it talks about wanting to democratize access to these aging therapies. So I think that's always a challenge. Even today with the disease-modifying therapies available for Alzheimer's disease, for removing the amyloid plaque from the brain, the protein that results in this misfolded protein. The access is a challenge because it's infusions. If you're not near an academic medical center, we also are going to need to see more diverse representation in clinical trials.
Of course.
Most is done, over most white male Caucasian.
Yeah, data is a challenge, right?
It's a huge challenge. So we're going to see more. We're going to see that, and so I'm really hopeful because we have no choice.
Yeah.
If we stay on the current trajectory, our healthcare expenses as a society are just going to bankrupt us.
Of course.
So a focus on prevention, really looking at that caregiver who's also caring for their loved one. How do we support them? These aren't two separate people. They're part of a interprofessional care team. Access is absolutely key, so that anything that we're coming up with is available to all.
Incredible. So last question.
Yes.
If you could make something happen magically overnight, a magic wand, what would be the age? What would be the age that you would say is amazing for us to have, for a person to have? Would it be 100 years? Would it be 150 years long? Would it be what do you want to enable out there in the world, assuming people will be healthy?
Sure. I think 100 is attainable. We know today there are things we can do from a lifestyle perspective that can really increase our lifespan and health span. And then if you add on top of that some of these drugs that are in the pipeline, I think it's realistic.
Okay, excellent.
Thank you.
Here's to living 100 at least.
Hope to see you there.
No, thank you, Diane. I really appreciate
Ian.
it. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, great.